Hello and welcome to Top Gear's Performance Car of the Year, and we're back at the incredible Portimão circuit in Portugal. And in this video I'm going to introduce you to the 12 contenders. I'm going to tell you what each one of them is like to drive on track. Then we're going to whittle it down to our 5 favourites, take those out on the road, and stick around to the end of the video because we'll be telling you what the overall winner is. Right, let's get on with the intro, shall we? Starting with this, the Aston Martin Vanquish. Under there is a 5.2 litre twin turbo V12 producing 823 brake horsepower. That makes this the most powerful V12 to ever go in a front-engined road car, which pretty much makes this peak Aston Martin. Now, we tested this against the Ferrari 12-cylinder on road in Italy earlier this year, and the Aston vanquished it. Will it be a different story on the track? I don't know. What I do know is we need to keep a set of spare tyres near this thing at all times. It's a bit lively. Right, next up, the M2 CS. Now, the CS badge has been a little bit hit and miss. In this case, CS stands for lightness. It's 25 kilograms lighter. You've got a carbon roof, you've got a carbon boot lid. It also stands for more power. 523 horsepower from the 3 litre twin turbo straight 6, which means it's in the same tune as the M4, and this is supposed to be the baby M car. However, it does cost from just under £90,000 before options. Yeah. Then again, you do get that brutalist ducktail spoiler on the back for free. Right, the Ferrari 12-cylinder. Yes, I've stopped trying to pronounce its proper Italian name, the Dodi Chili or whatever it was called. Now, bit of a curious one, this car, because the looks have been divisive even. This front end, Daytona-esque, this black visor across the nose has really split opinion. And then, apparently, because I haven't actually driven this myself, it's a little bit quieter, it's a little bit more gentle, it's leaning into its GT-ness. And is that what you want from your 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12 front engine Ferrari with 819 horsepower? No, it is not, which is why I reckon we're probably going to see it bare its teeth this week on the track and maybe get its revenge on the Aston. And perhaps I'm just getting a bit giddy with all the sunshine, but that front end's starting to grow on me. I think it's pretty cool. Next, we have the Hyundai Ioniq 6N. Now, we love the Ioniq 5N. It was the first EV, the first fast EV that proved you can have fun so long as you throw a load of electronic trickery at it. So the 6N doesn't stray too far from that formula, apart from the super saloon shape, of course. So it's got the same dual motor powertrain, 641 horsepower. They've been tinkering with the software though, so you now got 10 modes for your drift mode. You've also got the fake paddle shift gearbox, and you can use that in any mode you like. And also a bit of a style point, that spoiler on the back does wonders for the slightly saggy bum thing that the standard Ioniq 6 had going on. Right, the Kimera EVO37. It is incredibly cool, let's just say that from the get-go. But it's a tribute to the Lancia 037 Group B rally car from back in the day. And there is a small piece of Lancia Monte Carlo chassis buried in there somewhere. But from that point, it's all new. It uses a 2.1 litre turbocharged and supercharged 4-cylinder engine with just over 500 horsepower. Now, there are a ton of resto mods out there, and a lot of them are more show than go, but this is not one of them. We have tested this with 3 other resto mods in Italy earlier this year, and it blew us away. Not just because it looks ridiculously cool and it's finished beautifully, because of the way it sounds and the way it drives. And you can have one of these for just under £700,000, which I know is a ridiculous amount of money. But we live in a world full of multi-million-pound hypercars and resto mods, and I reckon that's quite good value. The car I'm most looking forward to driving this week. Okay, so the award for Top Gear's paint job of the year goes to this Lamborghini Revuelto. It's a Lamborghini. It should be silly, so why not have a TVR style flip paint job? Fortunately, what's underneath this paint is also very special indeed. We got a 6.5 litre naturally aspirated V12, 3 e-motors, so you got 4-wheel drive and over 1,000 horsepower. Now, when we heard that the flagship Lambo was going to be hybrid, we were a little bit worried. We thought it might go soft or get a bit sanitized, but none of it. This is still a big, bad V12 Lambo and probably one of the early favourites here this week. Okay, the Land Rover Defender Octa. Now, if you asked Top Kid to design our perfect off-roader, it would probably look something like this, wouldn't it? Covered in dirt, but also look at that stance, look at the extra width. Under this bonnet, you've got an M5 engine, 4.4 litre twin turbo V8, 626 horsepower. It's also got some very trick suspension with cross-linked dampers. Yes, like the ones you get on the top spec McLarens. So maybe it'll be a revelation on track, who knows? But just to be sure, we're going to give it a caning off-road as well. Next up, the Maserati GT2 even Stradale. I'll stop doing Italian accents in a minute, don't worry. Now, you know the drill here. It's lighter, 60 kilograms lighter than the standard MC20. It's got a smidge more power, 10 horsepower more from the 3 litre twin turbo V6 for about 630 horsepower and more downforce. 500 kilograms of downforce at 174 miles an hour. So it should feel at home on this ex-Formula One racetrack we have here. But here's the thing, we love the standard MC20 and the reason we love it is because it's quite easy going. It's not remotely concerned with lap times and for that reason it's very different to everything else. So in chasing this more hardcore character, has Maserati enhanced the fun or spoiled it? We shall see. Okay, the Porsche 911 GT3 Touring, the 992.2 car. Lots and lots of detailed engineering changes in this car, many of which are too nerdy and I don't care about. You've got the same engine out back, 503 horsepower, 4 litre flat six. You get a manual gearbox as standard in the touring version, which we've got here. You can also now have back seats, which we don't have here. So this isn't a radical reinvention, this car, but what you do get is 95% of the 911 ST, which is much more expensive and much more exotic, and actually nearly won this whole test last year. And at the other end of the 911 GT3 spectrum, you have this, the 911 GT3 RS MR, or Montage Racing. It's dolled up in a bit of a livery from some drinks company. I've never heard of them. So it looks like a race car, but it is, I assure you, an almost road legal car as well. It's got number plates here. So if you want one of these, you need the donor car in the first place, GT3 RS, let's call that 200 grand, and then another 100 grand for the conversion kit, which gives you more hardcore suspension, hardcore brakes, and of course, lots and lots of aero, lots more downforce, up to 1,000 kilograms of downforce on this. So you don't get more power than the GT3 RS, 513 horsepower, but it is still an absolute track monster. Red Bull gives you wings, Montage gives you even bigger ones. Next up, the Praga Bohema. So here, well, back there, we have a 700 horsepower version of the R35 GTR's 3.8 litre twin turbo V6, and it's wrapped in this incredibly beautiful and intricate low and wide bodywork. But the key here is how little this thing weighs. So 982 kilograms dry, and then you get 900 kilograms of downforce at just 155 miles an hour. What's the lap record again? Right, last but not least, we have this, the Ford Raptor T1 Plus. Yes, the actual truck that scored a podium in the ultimate class in the 2025 Dakar Rally. And no, it doesn't look anything like the Ranger Raptor that you've got on your driveway. Maybe the front end if you squint quite a bit, but it's not really the point, is it? This is an entirely bespoke race truck. You've got twin Fox dampers at each corner, 350 millimeters of travel. You've got a massive fuel tank. You've got a 5 litre Coyote V8 engine with about 380 horsepower. It's an absolute animal, and we get to drive it. Right, the track's open, shall we? sitting in this chair in this weird dungeon because we're shooting our car of the year, our awards shoot, through that wall over there. And not to pull back the curtain too much, but the Performance Car of the Year test happened a few weeks ago, but I'm here to tell you about how all the cars behaved on the track. All right, so let's talk about the Raptor first, shall we? The least powerful car we had there, but definitely the loudest and probably the most fun to drive as well. Off-road, at least, where it basically behaved like some sort of triple XL rally car. To be fair, the Defender Octa was much the same. That is a car that likes to be driven flat out off-road. Of course, we took the Octa and the Raptor on track as well because, you know, why wouldn't you? But two cars that produce their best on the dirt. Right, let's talk about the V12s, shall we? Starting with the Ferrari 12-cylinder. That engine is a masterpiece, but it's been dialed back a little bit since the 812 Superfast, and the body control wasn't quite there. Plus, it wanted to oversteer absolutely everywhere, which the Stig loved. The Lamborghini Revuelto, I mean, that thing is a force of nature. The speeds it was pulling down the start-finish straight were frankly, well, terrifying, to be honest. And the only component that couldn't quite keep up were the brakes at the end of the straight. But honestly, for its size, the fact that it's a big V12 hybrid, absolutely sensational. And then finally, the Aston Martin Vanquish, ballistically quick in a straight line, twin-turbo V12, of course, not quite as unhinged as the other two, but the body control, trust me, is a lot better than you'd think. Okay, so the BMW M2 CS, initially there wasn't a lot of love for this car, probably because it seemed to take itself quite seriously. It had these super sticky tyres on, they were really hard to break loose and have fun in, and also the fat-rimmed steering wheel and the augmented sound that's pumped into the cabin, those were, to be quite honest, put-offs. But there's no denying that that car is brutally effective. The Ioniq 6N then, like the 5N, this thing is a piece of engineering wizardry. It definitely moves the performance EV game on even further. Whether you could live with those looks though, yeah, well, that's up to you, isn't it? But we thought it was going to be a bit overwhelmed as an electric car around this big F1 circuit that we were on, but nah, it was actually a lot more fun and more exploitable than you'd think. And there was a fast charger just down the road, which was handy. Right, the pair of Porsche 911s. You can't have a Performance Car of the Year test without a pair of Porsche 911s. And we'll start with the GT3 Touring, which, come on, it's just like an irresistible recipe, especially in that dark blue spec with silver wheels and little bits of chrome. I think it's probably the car that most of us would take home if we could choose one and live and love forever. But there was a problem for the Touring, and that's the fact that there was also a GT3 RS Montage there, and that thing just blew everything away on the track. It was mighty. I have never driven another car with number plates that is faster, grippier, more flattering for a fairly average driver like me on the racetrack. Montage, we salute you. Your car is mighty. Okay, so the Maserati GT2 Stradale. I'll be honest, it was a little bit overlooked at the beginning, but then it started to prove itself. Loads of grip, way faster than 631 horsepower suggests. Just a really solid, track-focused supercar experience. But these fake kicks in the back that the gearbox gave you on upshifts was quite annoying. And in the end, it didn't really stand out in any one particular area. The Praga Bohema then, I mean, that thing delivers proper Le Mans prototype vibes. It's absolutely awesome. How on earth that thing is road legal, I have no idea. But it accelerates like a flicked pea. The downforce, you can feel it building in real time. And the seating position is just mad. Your ankles are up here. The steering wheel is chunky, but it fits your hands perfectly. It's just so exciting, even before you've left the pit lane. Fastest car there, round a lap, easily. Which brings us to the Kimera EVO37, a car that is just bursting with character. From the idiosyncratic startup procedure where you have to flick all sorts of switches and squeeze these buttons, to the noises that 2.1 litre four-cylinder engine is making, the whistles, the whooshes, the bangs going on behind you. And what I love is you can feel its rally origins. The boss of the company is an ex-WRC driver, and you feel that in the way he set this car up. So it wants to oversteer everywhere. None of this safety first understeer when you turn into a corner. So it always feels lively underneath you. And it's a physical experience. It's so rare these days for it to be a physical, sweaty experience driving a car. And I love that too. And also, it didn't do what we all expected it to do and break down. And then there were 5. Yep, we've whittled down 12 cars on track to our 5 absolute favourites, and we've spent the entire day driving them around. It's been a really, really tough one. We've had a big argument over some chicken and chips at lunch, and the verdict's in. So I'm going to take you around how each car fared, and at the end, tell you what the overall winner is. And let's start over here with the BMW M2 CS. Fair to say this was the last pick at number 5 in our final 5, but it has surprised us today. It's really come out fighting. It's loads more fun when it's on normal tyres, not the super sticky chewing gum tyres that it had on track. It's got a sweet engine, it's got a sweet chassis. It's really what the M2 should have been in the first place, but it is a step up from the standard M2. I just can't get over the price. Nearly £90,000 for an M2. I know it's the cheapest car out of these 5 by far, but still £90,000. And whoever signed off that fat steering wheel, someone have a word. Right, the Aston Martin Vanquish. This thing, well, it's been incredible. Probably the most beautiful car that we've got here. Ollie Q got in it this morning and said he couldn't think of another car in the entire world that he would rather slip into and go for a drive first thing in the morning. And it's like that. It's luxurious, it's comfortable, but it is an absolute weapon when you give this thing its head. If you ever get the chance in your life to feel an Aston Martin Vanquish on full throttle on the road, you must take that opportunity. And the thing is, look how big it is, look how long it is. It's a big old girl, but it can handle its mass. It can look after itself on the road. It's really impressed us on track and on road, this car. And then we get to the next 3. Bit of a division here. Fair to say, this was one of the closest performance car of the years we've had in, well, as long as I've been at Top Gear. And to be honest, it could have gone to any one of these final 3. Seriously close, but they're so different the way that they go about things. So let's start here with the GT3 RS Montage. On track, hands down, this was heads and shoulders above any of the other cars that we had. If you're looking for a track car, if all you want to do is a track car that you can stick some number plates on and drive it to your local track day, this is the thing. Nothing comes close on track. We were hoping that when we got it on the road, it wasn't going to be quite as compromised and hardcore as it looks. Turns out it is quite stiff, and we've been driving around on some bumpy roads today in Portugal, and the irony of having that massive wing on the back, because it spends most of its time airborne as it's pinging off the bump. So an absolutely incredible car. The other thing I love about this, because it's only got 500 horsepower, just over 500 horsepower, the least powerful car that we have here, you can use all of that performance on the road. You can ring it right out to 9,000 RPM. It's an incredible machine, but narrowly misses out, narrowly. Right, the Lamborghini Revuelto. This is everything that a big V12 Lamborghini should be. Like, it's very hard to give any pointers or marks to Lamborghini. Perhaps a little bit too stiff on the road, perhaps the steering is a little bit too light, but look, a Lamborghini needs to be slightly overwhelming. The performance of this thing is just out of this world. When you do give it full throttle on the road, you're just clinging on. It is absolutely, yeah, it's hard to explain, but that's what a Lamborghini should be. This paint is ridiculous. The shape is outrageous. Everyone that stopped to say hello on the road today has gravitated towards this one. because it's just the biggest and the silliest and it's the loudest. Do you want to be the person that drives around in a flip paint Lamborghini Revuelto? I'm not sure, but you can't mark them down for brand image. As a machine, it is absolutely mighty. But there's one left, and it's over here, and it's called the Kimera EVO37. And we realise it's a bit controversial. It might not be playing by the same rules as the other cars over there. There is some Lancia Monte Carlo chassis in the middle of it, which means it doesn't have to comply to the same emissions and crash regulations as the other ones. But let's just put that to one side, because if you're a buyer, it's your money. You don't really matter what rules it's playing by. You want to be moved by the car that you buy. And honestly, this is the dream. It's almost the answer to everything we've been crying out for. It's the antidote to everything we hate about modern cars. They're getting bigger, they're getting heavier, they're getting more synthesized, and this is just the epitome of analog driving. The performance, the way it sounds like a Group B rally car when it is chipping off down the road down there, but everything about it is just beautifully executed. And we kind of expected it to fall apart in the first few days track testing that we had, but 3 days hammering it around the track, another day hammering it around on the road, and it hasn't missed a beat. It's absolutely extraordinary. This isn't just some token award we're giving to this car to sort of mark a moment in time, to award the resto mod movement and the fact that this is a return to analog. It's just one of the best performance cars we have ever driven, and for that reason, this is Top Gear's 2025 Performance Car of the Year. And when we were talking earlier about exactly what is it that we're looking for in a car for it to win this award, it's just simply the one that after driving hard for 4 days, which is the one that we all really want to jump back in and go for a drive, and unanimously it was this one. So I'm going to do just that before the other guys come over here and try and get the keys off me. What a car, and it's locked. Who's got the keys? Come back to the channel very soon, as we'll have a full Kimera EVO37 track review up in the next couple of days.